Welcome to the Juicebox Heroes podcast. These guys aren't your local experts. And now your hosts, PK and Chris.
Yo, what's up, everybody? You are listening and watching the Juicebox Heroes podcast. I'm one of your hosts, PK. We're finally back. We are finally back. We had an interesting week last week. Some of us lost some power and some Wi-Fi for a while. Hope everybody made it through the storm perfectly good here in the Greater Houston area. I know there's a lot of people still out there without power. So, but yeah, we're back. We got a good episode coming up this week. I'm going to kind of just wrap up the first half of the Astros season. But y'all know who I'm with, the Dubon Fan Club president, Chris. What's up, my dude?
Man, it is good to have you guys back. Well, one of you guys. Yeah, man, it's been a minute. It is. I think the last time we were together was the Thursday before or the Friday before the 4th of July.
That's correct.
So,
yes.
Yeah. So it's been
2 weeks.
I think it might have been 3, but
this would be the third week.
Yeah.
Technically.
So. Yeah, I mean, so it's good to see us back on track now. It's been a pretty boring week as far as baseball goes. I mean, so
there was a fantastic national anthem, though.
yeah, but it's okay because she was drunk. So
she's gone now for rehab, but
but we got baseball tonight, so I'm good with that.
Yeah, and a big ass series too, man.
Yeah, a huge series. So hopefully they've got the rest that they needed, and they're ready to rock and roll. So
I saw that Pino went deep sea fishing, caught him his first marlin. So I don't know how much rest he got, but he did real good size marlin in. So
yeah, I think he caught a shark too.
Maybe that's what it was. It was a shark. Yeah, whatever. I mean, you do what you can do.
Yeah, I like it.
I mean, I'm barely working on 5 days back with Wi-Fi, so that's what I did during the All-Star break. I just want to tell you guys, and I know y'all probably have, but when you have younger kids and the Wi-Fi's out, and they're like we're having to tell them, hey, kids, this is how it was back in our day. You didn't have Wi-Fi. You went outside or played or threw rocks at each other or something, right? After a few days without Wi-Fi, you really appreciate the fact that, God, I could really use some Wi-Fi.
Oh, I know. Trust me. We felt the struggle. So, yeah, I try to tell the kids, it's like, yeah, this is how it was when Dad and Mom,
yeah,
grew up, and it just kind of looked at me like I was dumb, and they ran off.
That's right. That's what they did to us too. So
yeah. So,
but good, man. Well, look. We had a fantastic close to the first half of that season, man. The month of June was dirty. Like, it was awesome. I mean, that was what these guys had to do. We've been saying it for a minute, right? And we know that we've been hoping that this team that we saw in June and really the first week of July, up until the break, really up until his most recent series. I guess you could throw the Twin series in there too, but overall, like, the month of June was the month that these guys had to have, and they beat up on the teams that they needed to. And when we're sitting there, 8-9 games back, and look, I was tripping about it because this is y'all listen to the episodes, y'all watch the episodes, y'all see how much anger I had with the fact this team is sucking. But that month of June really propelled us into where we're at. We're sitting a game back now.
Yeah.
Seattle got to hang a banner finally. They won the first half of the season, 2024. We got a game back at them, and now we got 3 starting tonight, man. Like, it's in Seattle. Thank God it's a weekend series because they're going to be the late games. But yeah, I'm so freaking pumped, man. I can't wait. Like, let's start the season out with the sweep would be great. 2 out of 3 would be great also. But look, man, like, come Saturday, if we take care of business tonight, come Saturday, that's for first place.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, looking back at June, I mean, even though the technical first half before the All-Star break didn't exactly go down the way that we were hoping for, we ended up dropping 2 of 3 to the Rangers, but I mean, like I said, June was everything you needed it to be. It was. I mean, it was definitely, hey, if you guys are going to do something, this is the month to do it. And they went out there, carried the best record in the majors.
Yep.
At 17-6, I
17
believe is what it
6.
was.
That's
So,
correct.
so yeah, I mean, they put themselves from, like, what were they at the beginning of June, or maybe a week into June? They were 12 or 10 games out of first place. Now
Yeah.
they're one game out of first place. Even with this past series with the Rangers not going the way that we wanted it to, the Rangers are still, what are they, 5.5 or 5 behind
I
us?
mean, they're
So,
behind us. Right, exactly.
so they're definitely they're in the rearview mirror, and so I mean, like you said, man, we got a huge series. Hunter Brown's going tonight. I don't think Seattle has indicated who they're throwing tonight. So hopefully we see the continuation of what Hunter Brown's been this last, month and change.
Yeah.
And we hit him in the jaw coming out of the All-Star break.
Yeah, look, Hunter Brown, man, like I really can't say enough about that kid. I mean, to get like curb stomped like he was at the beginning of the season. I mean, and then that I'm telling you, and we've talked about it several times. It's that relief outing he did in Detroit, where he went like 5 scoreless innings. Like that started. I think that got his confidence back, and that set him on this quality start streak that he's on. I mean, he went his last start. He went, did another quality start. I mean, the dude just looks like he's super confident, and look, he's putting some gas behind the ball too. I mean, he's like 97, 97,
Yeah.
96. I mean, and it's been really good to see because this was the Hunter Brown that you were kind of expecting to see coming into the year at the beginning. Like this is supposed to be the next, JV, right? And obviously his first was that the first 9 starts, I think, was the real shit ones.
Yeah.
But dude, like Hunter Brown's been awesome. Excuse me. Like the Renel Blanco thing, he's still doing his thing, but he's kind of I don't know. Maybe you do. I have maybe a very slight concern that now we're going into these dog days of summer, right? And this guy's gonna be throwing innings that he hasn't ever thrown in his career. And I want to say he struggled a little bit in his last outing. He gave up the bombs in the first inning, didn't he? Against the Rangers.
Yeah, I mean,
But after that, dude, he shut him back down. And when I was listening to that game, they were talking about he gives up a lot of walks, like in his first time through the lineup. But then as the innings go on, the batting average against goes down. Where you typically
yeah, you see the opposite.
you see the opposite, right? But he did. He gave those bombs in the first inning. I almost said first quarter, in the first inning. But he sat him down the rest of the game. At least for his outing. So Rennell and Hunter Brown, Arrigetti's been doing his. He does his thing. He's still a little bit too inconsistent, even though he's had some better outings. But God, given the pitching injuries that we've had, June we haven't had Tucker and going on 40-something days, 45 days. I mean, close to.
Yeah.
Right.
No, you're right.
We're doing all this with not full strength, air quotes, right? But hey, man, like it's been awesome to see Jake Myers does his thing. It's just been really cool to see. And I'm really pumped for the second half of the season. I'm curious to see what the trade deadline is going to be like, what moves they may or may not make. And then to cap it all off, the Yankees are in a complete nosedive, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, no, I mean, everything you touched on, I mean, is the the way Hunter Brown's pitched, the way Brunel Blanco's pitched. I mean, even Arrighetti. I mean, he's excuse me, he's really been more kind of like on the upward trajectory. I know he had that one bad start. I think it was against Detroit. I mean, but yeah, like you said, they're gonna be approaching this uncharted waters where as far as innings pitch, stuff like that. I mean, so in my opinion, that's why. And we talked, we've talked, a little bit off and on, and we've touched on it here, which is why I think, me personally, that you have to address starting pitching at the trade deadline. Like I mean, And again, I'm not saying, you go after these big, sexy, gorgeous names. You just, at this point, I mean, your rotation your pitch staff has been good enough so far to get you here, which, you can take that, as an up or a down, compared to, in my opinion, it doesn't matter, that we're in the AL West. And if we were in any other division, we'd still be 7, 8 games out of first place. The pitching has done enough to keep us in the AL West. I mean, so you go out there, bring yourself in a couple of starting pitchers just to eat innings at this point. I mean, and then hopefully the last report that I've read is that I guess JV's done some bullpen sessions. He's looked really good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, man. I mean, like the second half is going to be very interesting. This trade deadline is going to be interesting. And, I mean, just how crazy this has been from, how we looked, mid-May to, where we're at now.
Man, I'm telling you, and I bet if you go back and listen to all of our other episodes, we're on like the cliff's edge, or at least I was. Not from jumping off the team, but just the level of play that we were seeing, and we're just like, what in the hell is going on to what we've been seeing since June. And the Baltimore series was, I think, a massive, massive boost for the entire team. I mean, the fact that you almost lost the Friday night game, the 14-11 game, you were up 14-3, but like up until the bullpen started to give runs back, I mean, you were beating the brakes off this team. Like,
yeah,
I mean, you were beating the freaking brakes. Now, was it a sweep or two out of three?
No, it was a sweep.
It was a sweep. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And it's like, and then when we swept them, Baltimore, I think, went on to lose the next series. I mean, they kind of started falling down a little bit, which it really doesn't matter at the moment to us. But Houston got up for that. I mean, that was the biggest series, like record wise, for the month of June, was Baltimore at home, right?
Yeah.
And like, if you want to go deep in the playoffs, you're going to see the team like Baltimore. And look, they're stacked. They got a damn good squad, and they're young. But that Houston comes, lets them come in and say, hey, let me just remind you what we've been doing for the last 8 years, right? So you don't want to see us in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, man. I mean, I think that was kind of, that series is like what you said. I think it really opened the eyes to say, oh, okay, so we're doing this. All right.
Yeah, here we go.
But, like they just had, everything that they needed to do, like I said, throughout June and even up into the All-Star break. They, even though the disappointment of dropping the series against the Rangers, I mean, they did everything that you needed them to do. I mean, they got the hits, that we, weren't used to seeing in the first half. They hit with runners in scoring position.
Yeah.
Which, again, like I said, if you can't hit with runners in scoring position, you're not going to win games, unless you just happen to hit 9 solo home runs, which rarely happens.
Right.
So, I mean, so looking at, like the trials and tribulations from the first month and a half of the season to, you kind of saw them waking up a little bit. But I mean, I think everything attributes to them getting rid of Jose Abreu. That's what it boils down to. I mean, you saw them go on that 10-4 run.
Yeah.
When he was down and, fishing down in, West Palm Beach, and then he comes back up, and then you see us kind of flatline again. And then they, finally someone had, the balls to say, all right, enough is enough. We're done with this. I'm sorry that your dream is over, but it's over. I mean, because no one's touched him since. No one's, and it's not like whoever signs him picks up that contract. I mean, we're on the hook for that contract regardless. So he can go sign for the league minimum somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody's touched him. So I feel like that was kind of the catalyst again. Once you saw him go and they finally called Loperfido back up and gave him some playing time, imagine that.
Weird.
You kind of saw this team start to gel again. And like I said, just to kind of, echo what you said, I mean, for them to go on this run and put themselves in the position that they're in now without Kyle Tucker. Kyle Tucker was out he's been out since June 4th or June 3rd.
Yeah, it's been over a month.
Yeah, I mean, so even if he's ready to come back, he's going to do a minor league stint. So we're not going to see him in the Seattle series, and I think we play Oakland next. So I would assume at the earliest, if he's 100% ready to go, he's probably going to be in either Sugarland or Corpus, whoever's the closest to where we're going to be, because we're going on a West Coast swing. So he'll probably go 3 games there and then hopefully rejoin the team, and more than likely Trey Cabbage, we'll see you at Sugarland again. And then hopefully JV's not too far behind him. I mean, but I mean, like they've put themselves in a position to where, they are. I mean, I've heard, I'm sure you've heard too. I talked a little bit about it last week, but I didn't want to get too in depth with it since it was just me. But they are knee deep in all of these trade talks, calling teams, seeing who's available. So this next week and a half, I mean, because trades can get done before doesn't have to always go down on July 31st. I mean, so these next week and a half will be pretty darn interesting.
Look, man, this is like besides opening day, besides the playoffs, the middle of July till the end of July is probably it's the most fun to, especially when your team's in the mix like we're used to and accustomed to. It's what are we going to do? What piece are we going to go out and get? Can we afford to get it? Like, you just don't know. You're like waiting for the breaking news to come down, like with the JV thing. We first got them, and so it's going to be fun, man. It's going to be fun. Like this next half, this is when it really, freaking counts. Like, all these series become bigger and bigger regardless of the opponent, because now you're nipping at the heels of Seattle. I mean, you're right.
You're not nipping. You're not nipping. You're on.
I mean, you're there. You're on it, but you have to keep pace. You got to keep pace right now.
Yeah,
you have to keep pace the rest of the season. So it's going to be fun this next half, because it's going to be a big push going in. Like you said, JV did some bullpen. I think we all know that McCullers got shut down. That is not looking good. Like, I mean, not that I know I didn't expect him back.
I was shocked, because I knew the whole run was weighing on the arm of Lance McCullers. So for him to get stopped from throwing,
completely shut down though. Like, look, homie, it might be a wrap. This,
I want to be surprised within the next week we hear he's done for the season.
Oh yeah, for sure. JP France is done, but I think we already talked. He's been out for. That was announced before our 3-week hiatus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done skis.
No, he's been. Yeah, I knew that, but I didn't know if they announced it during our break.
No, it was before.
Yeah. Let's see. Loper Fido. I was watching. What's that show called? ESPN Sports Center. So they did
a small show.
It's a really it's a small market sports programming. It's actually pretty good.
It's probably not going to go anywhere.
Y'all should check it out. Check it out sometime. But they did the top plays for the first half, top 10 catches or plays for the first half of the Major League season, and Loperfido was number 1 for his catch out in Minnesota, which I thought was really freaking cool. It was actually a great freaking catch. I mean, and then he looked like it was funny because I was reading something on Twitter and they were saying like Loperfido, like after they confirmed his catch, he looked like a little kid out in Little League, like pumping his glove, like
Yeah.
It was just super cool. I mean, I wish we would have done better in Minnesota, but I mean, look, we've got a pitcher in our bullpen that I don't know how he still has a jersey. Actually, I do, because we overpaid for his ass, and we can't get rid of 2 guys for that amount of money in 1 year. But Rafael Montero should be like below the clubhouse manager on the pecking order. Like, what was it, 8.03 in his last 15 starts or 15 appearances?
Appearances, not games where he only appeared like in 3 of them. His last 15 times he's taken the ball, his ERA is over 8.
Because he gives up bombs, dude. Like, he throws freaking meatballs.
No, he does. It's brutal every time he takes the mound, and you just know that if the game's close, he's about to make it not close.
Yeah.
If we're up, he's about to make it let's just say I'm hoping that we're up by like 4 runs when he comes in. I mean, he started off kind of like, hey, and the way he pitched was like, hey, you fans that hated on me all last year, y'all don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And then June came around, and then he was like, oh, I guess they do know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Because I'm absolute shit.
No,
if we can get rid of that guy, that would be fantastic.
There's nobody on their right mind would take that guy.
I mean, you can make it work, but you're not going to like it.
Yeah. What?
I mean, you'd have to throw in one of these.
Well, no, he's an add-on piece.
Prospects.
He's an add-on piece to a big prospect, right? I mean,
he would be an add-on piece if we were selling, but we're not selling. So the only way you could move him would be to move him, and you're throwing in a good prospect.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and then we eat half his contract or more.
Yeah.
Right?
So it's a lose-lose situation.
Like, we're going to pay you to play against us because that's how fucking bad you are. No, it's hot garbage, man. He's absolutely terrible. Like, I mean, he pitched during the 14-3 game with Baltimore and gave up runs then. And it's like, okay, seen enough. Go ahead and yank him. You know, so but he still gets thrown out there.
Well, they have to because they can't keep throwing the same 4 arms out there again.
Well,
I mean,
they throw Taylor Scott and then our back three. Yeah. What's that? Lefty King. Throw his ass out there.
King,
I always see him. I always see him warming up, and he doesn't get in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you also have Seth Martinez also too. I mean, but like the big deal, the big thing is that you have to use these guys more because you don't have that bullpen arm that can give you 3 innings out of the bullpen. You don't have that long reliever. You know.
You don't, but you also, like on the Eric Getty starts when he doesn't get out of the 5th inning, right? Now you're taxing your bullpen, right? And you really don't want to burn your 7, 8, 9 guys. So you're going to throw freaking Montero out there. You're going to throw.
Oh no, Espada still burns them because then you see Hader in the 8th.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you're right. There's no.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, like I mean, as much as I've been impressed with the way King's pitched, the way he's been up here, same thing with Martinez and Scott.
Contreras has looked semi-decent too.
Well, Contreras is already back down in Sugarland, so
right, but he was.
Okay. You need one of those guys that can give you 3 innings out of the bullpen. You need that guy. Sometimes you need 2 of them.
Yeah,
and that really takes the load off of your back 3, and then those bridge guys as well. So
you need like a good version of Brandon Belak.
Man, we just saw him. I think it was last Friday night. Pitch for the Las Vegas Aviators when we went to the Space Cowboys game.
How did he do?
Well, he went into that start with a 6.12 ERA.
Fantastic.
And he gave up 1 run in 7 innings.
That'll lower it.
Yeah, I think it lowered it down to like 587.
Yeah. Not what you want though. You okay over there, homie?
Oh yeah, I'm good.
Well, what else you got, man?
I mean, really, honestly, I mean, like, big things right now are, like I said, gearing up for the trade deadline. I mean, that's really it. So
what do you if you're Dana Brown?
Oh boy,
what are you going after?
Well,
what's number one on your list?
Number one is position-wise or player-wise?
Well, we know it's Trevor Bauer. That's your number one. But what I'm talking about is position. What's your number one position of priority?
Starting pitching.
Okay. What would be your number 2? Because mine would be starting pitching as well.
My number 2 would be another reliever.
But, okay, you looking like late inning reliever or long relief?
Either long relief or like another guy who's got playoff experience. I mean, because here's the thing. Also, you've got a handful of guys that this is as far as they've been stretched out.
Yeah.
Right. So, as much as I would love the pipe dream that is Vlad Jr., as much as I love, I mean, 2 of them, 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 2 of I don't know why the Astros are talking to the Mets about Alonso. The Mets hold the third wild card spot. They're not trading Pete Alonso.
Right.
I mean, unless they're going to get Jordan back, which that trade ain't happening. So, I mean, I guess maybe Cody Bellinger, but that's what I'm saying. Every team outside of Miami and Colorado are within 5.5 games of the third wild card spot. So essentially, every team besides those two teams that are in the National League are technically still in it. So I'm looking at teams like Miami. I'm looking at teams like Colorado. I'm looking at what we can take from the White Sox. And those are the guys. Those are the guys I'm looking at. Like I'm looking at.
Are you still on the Jack Flaherty?
Oh yeah. I mean, for what we have in the farm system, you're looking at Reynolds, or you're looking at undervalued guys that aren't very sexy. You're looking at starting pitching like Cal Quantrill from Colorado.
Yeah.
You're looking at, maybe looking at that that closer for Miami.
It was an all-star guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're looking at him.
Yeah. He's filthy.
Yeah. I mean, you're looking at him. And at the White Sox, I'm not looking at Crochet. I'm looking at maybe Michael Kopech, maybe. But he's kind of probably a lot more expensive bullpen arm. So
he throws gas, though.
Yeah.
Like, he throws freaking gas.
Yeah, he does. So those are the guys I'm looking at. Like, I'm not big in the whole we need to go get a first baseman. I mean, I feel like Singleton has done enough. I mean, again, I'm not saying he's going to put up MVP numbers, but he's done enough. I mean, he's hitting 240 something, which is kind of what you expect.
Yeah.
But man, that guy's playing a hell of defense on first base. I mean, so if whatever happens and you need to replace him, you have enough internal replacements. You could put Diaz at first base. You could put Loperfido at first base. You could put Caratini when he comes back at first base. So
Dubon. Put Dubon at first.
I mean, he's slumping too.
He is. But like, when you're talking, I was just thinking about the position players, right? And I mean, you can always get better, right? Every team can always get better, right? Whether it's a high level guy or mid level guy, right? I think you probably would want to see. Right now, we have Loperfido and Singleton. Excluding Jordan as a lefty because he's like the everyday guy, right? But who on the bench should be a lefty coming off? Cabbage at the moment?
Yeah, but he's
no. I mean,
he's not long for this team.
Right, he's going to go down when Tucker. Right. So I think like you could probably use another outfielder, probably. But because like every other position is pretty wrapped up. Like you don't need to go. Like you said, I agree. You don't need to go and trade for a first baseman because you've got 5 options that you can put over there to, whenever you want, it's just hard. It's hard because like you don't want to break up what the team's been doing, right? With the lineup that they've been running out there. Like I said, you can always get better, man. But pitching, I agree, dude. Pitching, relief pitching, like you see the best bullpens and the best starting pitching come playoff time, and that's our expectation. I don't think you can roll into the postseason with our relievers. Outside of our 3 guys and Taylor Scott, like I don't want Montero touching I don't want him sniffing the field during the postseason. Like take him off the rosters, right? So you've got to bolster your bullpen for sure.
Yeah, I mean, again, get yourself a couple arms. That way you can kind of maybe slide Eric Getty maybe into the long relief position. Or you can piggyback him and Blanco. I mean, so there's always that. I mean, but like I said, I don't feel the need to go out and go get a first baseman.
No, I don't think you need to overpay either. At all. Like, don't go out there and make some big splash because it's a sexy pick. I mean, dude, look, I'd love to have Vlad, love it, but we can roll with first base, like you said. We can roll with what we have. Like I'm fine with it. I'm good with it. Singleton's been a great surprise. Like, it's I think if you would have asked us at the beginning of the season that he's going to be hitting 240, like the good ABs that he's getting and the defense he's putting down there at first base, I would have I probably wouldn't have taken it in the sense that I would not expect it because this is the most he's ever freaking played, But I mean, you stay with what you have, man. I mean, we were all pushing for him when Abreu was here, and he's kind of rewarded us in the sense that he hasn't completely let us down. Like this is what you get with Singleton, and it's not it's not a consistent out like it was with Abreu. So, if you want your splash for a first baseman in the offseason, cool, go do that. But trade deadline, pitching. But did you hear that we signed Aledmus Diaz to a minor league contract?
Well, yeah.
Like, I don't know why. Like, why? I don't.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't understand the move.
Maybe depth. I don't know.
I mean, obviously, right, depth, but like, he's not going to see the field unless someone gets hurt again.
Well, if that's the case, then I hope he never sees the field.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. They got him on a minor league deal. Whatever.
Just bring all the old Astros back.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and trade for Springer. Bring back Correa.
Get Marwin back up in here.
Oh, I think he's playing in Mexico or Japan or something.
I was about to say, like, where's that guy playing at? There was a little run on Twitter about Tony Kemp. About him coming back. I was like, all right, why? Speed.
I mean, he could play second base and he can play the outfield. He'd give you a lefty bat off the bench.
Yeah, look, I understand all that, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know, dude. I mean, it hasn't happened. It's not going to.
Well, I mean, you can always bring him in on a minor league deal. I mean, but Shea Whitcomb is having a really good year down in Sugarland at second base, and then I guess you can play him in the outfield.
Yeah, I mean, you can.
Whatever.
I mean, that's who played here.
So
Salazar's been a good little surprise.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. If you wanted to, I mean, you like Salazar's defense, you like his batsman hasn't been terrible. You like Caratini, so I mean, if first base is such a big deal, move Diaz to first base.
Yeah, because maybe he can throw harder from first base to pitcher mound. So I don't know how many times we talk about it all the time. At least I do. If I was the opposing team against the Astros, I'm stealing all the time.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think I probably saw him throw somebody out.
Really? Well, I must have.
Yeah,
it must
I think it was in the Ranger series.
Okay, so it's actually comical, at least for me, because I'm like, just do one. Let me watch one. Just want to see one.
Yeah, I think he threw somebody out in the Ranger series.
Did they trip?
They might have.
They might have tripped. They pulled a Jake Myers.
Yeah. Oh, the first half. That first 2 months of the season was brutal.
It was so brutal because it was so shocking. I mean, it was so brutal for a lot of reasons, but like, it was more of like a shock to the system. Like, what in the fuck are we watching right now? Like, what did y'all do with the Astros?
Yeah, it was just anything and everything that could have went wrong. And I don't think at first there wasn't anything anything that anybody had a solution to how to stop it.
Yeah.
And it was just the offense gets to go and the bullpen says, hold my beer.
Say, hold up.
Starting pitching says, you know what, we're going to start this game down 9-0. And then the offense is like, well, whatever. So it was always one of the three.
I'm actually kind of surprised that some of this is why I'm not a GM. This is why I don't work in the front office, because I'm about to say, like, I'm surprised that nobody lost their fucking job, right, at the beginning. Like, seriously. Not, I mean, not just Espada, but Centron, Hill, pitching coach.
Miller. The pitching coach is
Miller. I don't know why I want to say Hill all the time, but anyways, like, I'm surprised. I mean, you go watch the old episodes, right? Like, I was like, fire him, fire all them, like bring everybody,
Spada, yeah,
bring
they're
every
ready to
fire everybody.
Spada.
And I think another thing, and I'm sure we talked about it, and it feels like we haven't talked in forever, right? Because it's been a minute. But the 2 times that I saw Jose Altuve get bent the hell out of shape.
Yeah.
It's something that like I can't remember ever seeing with him in all of his time here. Like honestly. I think prior to his most recent ejection, I think he'd only been tossed one other time, I think. But to see him let's see, that was the Mets series, right? Or was it the Mets?
Yeah, it's the one where he
fouled it off his foot.
Yeah.
That's when he got tossed. And then you had, what was it, the Tiger series? Was it Tigers?
Yeah.
Whenever he was, barking after his at bat. And it's like, that's his way. I feel like that's his way of kind of being a leader, right? Because like you don't see that type of emotion from him ever. At least I'm not on the field, right? But and also it's probably the damn frustration of what the hell are we doing here? Like overall, like our team's sucking. We're just overall frustration. I think it was good to see. I actually liked it.
Yeah, you saw Dubon get tossed too.
Dubon did?
Yeah, in the Ranger series. He got tossed. I think it was on a reviewed something. He was pissed. Like he was ready to fight the umpire. We had to get like restrained by like 2 or 3 coaches.
Damn, nice.
I was like, well, it's about time you showed up because your batting average has been dog shit the last 10 games. So you get it together.
Yeah, well, he can do it tonight. He can start tonight.
Yeah, he can.
No, dude, it's gonna be a fun second half, man. Like I can't freaking wait. I'm so pumped for tonight, this weekend. It's take these guys down and just kind of remind them who Dad is.
Yeah, we got a couple of really good series coming up. We have let's see, Seattle, and then I think Oakland, and then we come home for Pittsburgh, and then I think next weekend. Is it next weekend or the weekend after? Then we get the Dodgers. So,
yeah,
things are about to get real.
Always want to beat those clowns. Always.
Yeah, and then right after the deadline, you've got Tampa coming in for a weekend series.
It's gonna be good, man. It's gonna be some good ball. Boston's coming in town here soon.
Yeah, so it's definitely not getting any easier. So this is where you've got to build on what you've put together so far in the last month and a half, and use that momentum to steamroll through the rest of these chumps. And
and that was right. And that's what was frustrating in May. In May, right, where you were playing chump teams and you weren't winning. You just weren't winning, and so. You did what you did in June, and thank God you did because that saved your season right now. That run in June.
Yeah, if you don't have that run in June, we're having a completely different conversation. We're talking about who's about to get traded.
That's right. Moving Bregman. What are we gonna get back from Bregman?
Yeah. Potentially talking about moving Tucker too.
Yeah.
Oh. So yeah.
I'm so glad they did what they did in June, man. Like
yeah. I would probably be still as interested in the trade deadline, even if we were sellers and this was a dog shit season.
I would too. I'd be curious because now you're talking about, all right, so what prospects are we going to get? Like, where are these guys ranked?
Yeah.
Like, what's the future hold?
When are we going to see them?
Right. Yeah.
So, and then it's like, time to flip back over to, well, looks like buy prospects we may have in our system.
Yeah,
these guys are about to get traded.
It's nice knowing you guys.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man.
You watched the All-Star game? You watched the All-Star game?
I did not.
You watched the Derby?
I caught the national anthem.
Yeah.
I think after the national anthem. Yeah, I didn't really catch a lot. Yeah, because we didn't watch the All-Star game because Benjamin had a basketball game, and
that's right.
And the All-Star game, man, it's
kind of weak sauce, man. Like
yeah, Yeah, man, I think there's a lot of other things you could do to like make it better. You know, I mean, like the home run derbies. I think it's a joke, to be honest with you. I mean, I like it's a cool concept. I mean, but like, what's the point of having it if you're not going to have like Judge in it or Jordan in it or?
But those guys don't want to be in it. That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, because they don't want to mess their swing up.
Right.
So that's why I say you do what the NFL does and you move the All Star game. So here's my way to fix it. You shorten the season by about 10 games. So essentially your playoffs start a week earlier, right? So that way, let's say in this hypothetical situation, your playoffs are 100% done, World Series is over by October 25th, right? And excuse me. Then on the 28th, you hold your All-Star game, except, you know, to save the wear and tear on pitchers and stuff like that, it's a softball tournament. So you have the AL, the NL, and then you have you have an all-stars made up of all your minor league system, all the teams in the minor leagues. So you have a minor league team of US, and then you have like a world, prospect, from like maybe you can bring in team players from other
Basically
leagues.
anywhere
Like
else. Yeah.
yeah. And then it's a softball, so that way you don't have to worry about pitchers blowing their arms out in the All-Star game. And then you do the home run derby. You do the home run derby. At that point, none of these big stars, these big home run hitters, are worried about fucking their swings up because it's the end of the season. It's not like you're going to play again. Maybe you still do like the donation, like the charity stuff. I would get rid of the whole 40 pitches thing. Just give them like you've got 6 outs.
Yeah, 10 outs. Like the old
Or 10
baseball
outs.
games back in the day, you had 10
Yeah.
outs.
And then like your softball is a 4-team double elimination tournament.
It'd be cool to have a fast pitch pitcher.
Yeah. Well, what you could do is like you could have
be home runs all the time.
Well, what you do is you'd bring in maybe you bring in 4 or 5, or let's say 2 per team, maybe 4 per team. One of these college softball players, and have them pitch, and then the guys swing, and that way, or like I said, you do something to where like maybe even the pitchers have to hit too. But something like I said, like I mean, I just don't care about the All-Star game like I used to. And maybe another thing too, stop wearing all these stupid unified uniforms. Go back in the day where you wore your team uniform.
Yeah.
Maybe you can do like a uniform all-star patch on the arm or something.
Which is what they did also.
Yeah. So
take
like
your
the
uniform with you.
Jordan would wear his Astros uniform with an all-star patch right here. Bam, done. That's all you got to do. That's it. So you move it towards the end of the season, make it to where like more, I think that you would have more of the participation from these top dogs in the league or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Make it a span of 2 days. Have the home run derby. You can still maybe instead of a 6-day long break, maybe you make it like 3, and then the middle day is like your first year player draft. So you have something to talk about. Then you roll right back into the season, and then you have, like, say, you do a home run derby. Maybe you do like maybe for the pitchers you do like the precision pitching. You like set up targets in a strike zone or something. Have them do that. Then you have the All-Star game where it's like I said, the 4-team softball elimination or whatever. Make it a 2 or 3 day event. Towards the end of the season, you'll get a lot more participation. You'll get guys like Shohei, Jordan, all these big heavy hitters, like because it's not like back in the day. Back in the day, you'd have McGuire in the home run derby, Sosa in the home run derby.
Yeah.
Now you got, I mean, you had a couple good representatives like Gunnar Henderson. I mean, but for the most part, it's not the guys you want to see tee off in the home run derby.
Yeah, no, I agree. I look, the home run derby. I caught it in the semifinals, so I didn't get to see Gunnar. Saw Bobby Witt do his thing. Who was the other? Teoscar. Alec Bohm. I forget who. Bobby went against Jose Ramirez. So I saw the end of that. Pretty entertaining, and what I was missing from it was hearing. I know like times change. You got new play by play color
Talking
guys.
about Chris Berman.
Yeah, man. The back, right? So even
Yeah.
if he was doing it now, even if he was doing the play by play now, he wouldn't even have enough time, right, to do it because it's a clock and pitch count.
Yeah.
So, like whatever his name was, Frazier and Guerrero, whatever his name was. Anyway, that's not the point. Like they could have their initial reaction to the hit, but then they were on to the next pitch because they got to keep going.
Yeah.
I did like the 360 views of the hitters because like the angle from like for a right hand batter when you were in the back left and you could see the ball take off, like that was pretty clean. But yeah, I always when I know the home run derby's there, when the All Star game's there, like leading into it, I'm like, man, I'm gonna watch it this year, and then something else is always better on TV. I did not watch the only thing I wanted to see in the All Star game. I really did want to see Skeens pitch, like I really did. I wanted to see him, go through Judge and Soto and all that. I forgot what I was doing, but I didn't. I didn't turn the game on until I think probably the 7th inning, right? And I watched like half an inning. I was like, okay, like none of the Astros are playing. Don't really care. And that was that. So yeah, no, I think I don't know what an alternative to it is because it's just like with the Pro Bowl. These guys they don't care. They're not going to try. It's the middle of the season. A lot of these guys are in, playoff hunts. So you don't want to go out there and ruin your swing, waste energy. Like what was Teoscar? He had like they said the count of how many home runs he hit, right? But the amount of swings these guys are having, different swing angles, right? Launch angles, right? For the home run derby. I mean, it could mess them up coming out the second half, but the whole thing, the whole thing's lost its lore, really, to me.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying. You move it towards the end of the year, and then you get the big boppers. Like essentially home run leaders 1 through 8, and those are your guys, right? I mean, so
Bryce Harper, I think came. I don't know what he said. I just heard about it on the radio today. Like that but I think he had or maybe I saw it on the internet or something. But he had an alternative to, or some changes, suggestions.
Yeah.
Like I said, I didn't read. I just heard it. So I'm sure. But like you said, people want to see Bryce Harper. They want to see Shohei. They want to see the big bats in there. Like I'm really scared to have any Astro in there anyway because Altuve went and played the World Baseball Classic and broke his hand. Right? I mean, like you don't want to see any of your players get hurt in an exhibition game.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I'm saying. That's why you move it towards the end of the season. Like if Jordan ends up doing his hip thing that he somewhat does on a consistent basis, then it's the off season. Take off, a month in November where no one's fucking doing anything anyway.
But you don't wonder about the players that don't make the playoffs who are like done with baseball for this, like, and then they just show up to, do the home run derby, like even wanting to because they're on vacation because their team's.
I mean, it's bad in practice is essentially what it is.
I mean, it is, I guess.
I mean,
I don't know. I mean, look, something's got to change.
Yeah. I mean, I feel you though. I'm kind of in the same area because I was like, man, when we get home, we're gonna watch the All-Star game. Yeah. And then we got home, and I was like, I think I'm gonna go play NCAA instead.
It's like, oh, the news is on.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, that's right, the All-Star game was on.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, so just to let you know, football game launches tonight at midnight, not last night.
No, it's tonight at midnight.
Yeah.
Well, I don't feel bad because I already paid the extra money. I'm already playing it. So.
Well, you and Logan both suck. So.
Hey, it's fantastic. You're missing out.
I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow or later tonight. I like your new office, man. It's a good setup you got.
Yeah, I mean, finally got that set up. I've been kind of going back and forth on which angle I was going to go off of. So maybe we'll do this one this time, and then maybe we'll take a look at the other angle, next week. See what happens.
Oh, Julian's getting rid of a lot of his Astros championship swag.
What? Might have to hit him up.
Yeah.
I'll definitely hit him up.
So I'm slowly catching up with you guys, very slowly. My wonderful girlfriend got this jersey for me.
Yeah, it looks nice. It looks clean.
It's pretty clean, man. Like so we're on the looking for older jersey swag. So
yeah,
I gotta step my game up to keep up with you guys.
Yeah. So, all right, man. You got anything else?
No, man. I'm thankful for all the people that still listen and still watch and interact with us on Facebook. Really glad to be back. It feels like we hadn't been here in forever. I know Chris tried to hold it down, last week for a little bit. This little thing for us.
It was rough.
And so I appreciate him for doing that. But thank all the listeners for listening and watching. Make sure you get it out there. If you're new to the show, welcome to the show. I hope you had a good time. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast. And we'll talk to you next week. We'll wrap up another week of Astros baseball.
Yeah, and hopefully next week I won't be muting and coughing 4,716 times. So
yeah, that'd be cool too.
That would be fantastic.
But now, earlier in the episodes, I had that one episode where I was doing that the whole time too. So now you have. So now we both got it out of our system.
We are not professionals here. We just wing it.
We are not your local experts.
No, sir. All right, guys. Well, yeah. Again, to echo what PK said. Thanks for listening. Thanks for taking out the time to hit us up on Facebook. Tell your friends, how'd your kids, how'd your wives, because we're doing this every week. So
every week.
Thanks for the time. For now, have a fantastic weekend. And hopefully, let's go Astros. And hopefully next time we talk, we'll be the first place Astros.
First place, baby.
All right, guys. We'll see you later.
Talk to y'all later.